Hi, welcome in everybody. Thank you very much for joining. I'm going live today to show you why I used Adobe Fresco to draw my corp dogs. I've just been on an ex Twitter space with Mr. Greenity on Say Something, and one of the things we spoke about was which applications we use for doing our digital drawings. And I'm a big fan of Adobe Fresco, and mainly because of this one particular feature, which I really like. So yeah, plan is today. I think what I'm going to do is let's draw a zombie. We'll draw a zombie, and then we'll also, but I'll also show you the main thing on Adobe Fresco that made me want to use it, that made me choose it over Procreate. And yeah, let's see if we can get something done and finished pretty quickly. That's the plan. Let's do it, shall we? So thank you very much for joining in. Hope you're doing well. If you're in the comments, if you're in the audience, please go and post some comments around. It'll be good to see who you are, where you're from. Hi, Sensei Dum Kia. Nice profile pic. Is that a whale? I love it. Yeah, thank you very much for joining in. You should, so your comments should kind of pop up on the feed as well, if that's turned on. Yeah, that's turned on. So yeah, that should happen. Yeah, do me a favor if you're watching. If you're interested in this kind of stuff, then please share the content. It helps the algorithm loads. Helps us spread the word about what we're doing. And yeah, just to recap, the plan is I'm going to draw something using Adobe Fresco. I'm going to explain how I use it, what brushes I use, things like that. Let me just, I'm just going to quickly share what I'm doing so that it can get posted around. And yeah, if you can do the same, that'd be great. Just click the share button, click the comment button. Let me know where you're watching from. It's always cool to know where people are watching from. It's a great way of starting the conversation. Let me just quickly show you. What I'll do is before we do anything, I'll show you some of the corp dogs. Now I'm going to do over the weekend, maybe on Saturday at about 6 o'clock. I'm going to go live then and show you some of the corp dogs. Some of my favourite traits within the corp dogs, how I drew them, why I drew them, what they're inspired by, that kind of stuff. So a little bit of a deeper dive into the actual corp dog artwork. So that's this weekend. There's no way of kind of scheduling a live broadcast to get a reminder on X. So just keep it in your mind. Maybe hit the notifications bell on my profile, on the corp dogs profile, and yeah, you'll be notified when we go live. But yeah, Saturday round about 6 o'clock is when I'm thinking of going live. But yeah, and the plan is for me to just go through these corp dogs characters, explain why I use certain brushes, explain which are my favourite traits. I'll go through all the different layers as well, how I drew them, how everything kind of just came together. Really, and how I developed this whole kind of generative NFT project just using Adobe Fresco. That's the plan. We'll see how it goes though, shall we? Let me get back out of that and go back into what I was doing before, and let's start doing some drawing. So I guess the main thing, let's put a bit of symmetry on. So when I first got Adobe Fresco, there was no such thing as symmetry within Fresco. It was all kind of with Procreate. So at that time, the symmetry tools were a big pull towards Procreate. Thankfully, we've now got it over here in Adobe Fresco as well. So I'm going to turn on symmetry first because I'm going to draw a zombie character, and we kind of get it done twice as quick if we're drawing both sides at the same time. Okay, and yeah, let me pencil out a rough sketch of what we're going to do. So I'll maybe put in, oh no, that's too big. Let's go for an eyeball there, and then a sausage shape there for the mouth. And that's all I do. That's the only guidelines I really need for it. And then let me show you. Let's put in another layer. And And then over on this side, I'm going to choose this the vector brushes. They're my favourite brushes to use, mainly because wherever you draw with a vector brush, you can scale, you can zoom into it infinitely, and you don't get any of that like pixelation. And that's something that just really appealed to me when it came to choosing between Fresco and Procreate. Mainly because I like to print a lot of my stuff, and so I know you can probably use normal brushes and still print and the resolution's still there, but there was just a bit in my head that said with a vector brush, it's like I say, a little bit more infinitely scalable. So if you wanted to print it massive, it would print. Not that I've ever really done that, but the possibilities there, which is what I really liked. Also like the cleanness of the vector brushes as well. They're very sharp, very clean, very easy to use. So yeah, in here I'd go for a basic and then a double-ended taper brush, so that I get the thin ends on both sides. Now, it's not. I kind of like flicking off the pen when I'm doing my IRL drawing, and so that using this like double-ended taper brush, it kind of gives you that kind of like flicked look to your line work rather than just ending with a sudden end like you would with this round brush just here. And so yeah, that's why I'm using that. So I'm going to use that. Let me just see what kind of size that comes out as. Yeah, that's a nice size. And yeah, so let me show you the reason I use that tool. I'm going to go and whack in a few little features first. Let's go and put in a nose. Let's go around there. And so hopefully you can see straight away that the vector tool, you see how it just gives me those nice thin tapered ends. I really like those. That's what really appeals to me about this. And so this next bit is the main reason why I chose Adobe Fresco, and it's called a vector clipping tool. And as far as I'm aware, Procreate doesn't do it. Whether it does now, I don't know, but it didn't at the time do it. But what you can do is you can kind of, I'm going to go and put in. So I've got the snout of the nostrils, those bits. Then I'm going to go and put this next line for the bridge of the nose, which will be about there. Let's do that again. I don't know if that looks any different, but that works for me now. And yeah, this vector clipping tool, you see this little circle down here. This little circle is kind of gives you options for how to tweak what your brush does. And so if you double tap it, it kind of goes into like a eraser mode, a rubbing out mode. If you triple tap it like that, then you get the outer ring, which is highlighted. That gives you this vector clipping tool. So still in the vector brush, triple tap the little button there, and then what you can do is just draw a line over here, and it just makes that bit disappear. Look at the same over here, look, just makes that line disappear. And for me, what that means is you don't have to then spend a lot of time just kind of erasing lines that have gone a bit astray in your artwork. It was nice and easy to just kind of take these lines out, and I really like that about it. So yeah, there you go. There's the main reason why. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and carry on drawing in this picture. I'll explain. Well, we'll use that vector clipping tool a little bit more. And yeah, if you've got any questions, hi Silent Axe. If you've got any questions, just chuck it in the comments for us, and I will try my best to answer any digital drawing questions that you might have whilst drawing this zombie. Yeah, if you've just joined in, thank you very much for joining. It's a little bit of why I chose Adobe Fresco to draw my corp dogs. Just a reminder, corp dogs are being released as my NFT project, being released on this Monday and Tuesday coming. So if you're interested in supporting what I do, please head over there. Yeah, we're going to release them on Magic Eden as well, just so you know. Right, let's go and carry on with this picture. So the next thing we're going to do is the mouth. So yeah, let's go. Go like that with our mouth. Turn on that vector clipping tool, triple tapping it. You've been using it for a year and a half and not knowing that. Oh mate, it was. I'm really bad at like making decisions on what to do. I over research everything I do. So yeah, when I was researching the differences between the two, this is one thing that's popped up a lot. This vector clipping tool. So like you can see just here, look, where we've got the this mouth line just kind of going behind the nostril. You just draw a little line over it and it just disappears. It helps you with your artwork so much. Let's put a little bit of snot coming out. In fact, yeah, let's put a little bit of snot coming out. So we can have the snot starting there. Oh, I want to turn off symmetry for that. I don't want the snot to be symmetrical. How's that look? Let's bring it a bit further over here. That looks right. Yeah, vector clipping tool, turn it on. Look, you just take these little bits out the top, take that little bit out the middle. I wonder if I can take that out as well. Yeah. Let's make this a little bit more transparent. There you go. See what I mean? Just saves such a lot of work by having that in. Okay, let's put some symmetry back on. I'm going to go and do some teeth now. So we'll have these big teeth just there. And what I love about it is that you can just draw it away, just carry on drawing, knowing that you can use that vector clipping tool to then like take bits out later on. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to carry on drawing and see what happens. There's my top set of teeth, symmetry off, because I want the teeth to be wonky. So I turn the symmetry off and let's put in some different lines here. Look. There we go. So we've got all our teeth in. Yeah, that works. Vector clipping tool on, and then you just go in, you clip out all the bits that you don't need. So you're just drawing around these bits, drawing over them, makes them disappear. It just keeps it nice, tidy. Bring that snot back to the front. And this is, I find this a really satisfying part of the drawing as well. This process of just tidying up and getting everything looking just right. I find it really satisfying. What I'm going to do here, I'm just going to thicken off that line a little bit. How big's that? There you go. Let's go and whack some bottom teeth in. Let's put a little bit of symmetry on this one. Don't mind the bottom teeth. Having a bit of symmetry to them. You see how quick it makes your drawing as well. Just makes it so much quicker and easier to get anything finished. And just knowing that you can draw through things, knowing that you can delete them nice and easy later is a nice touch, which I really like. Okay, let's carry on with the mouth. Symmetry still on. Let's go and put this little bottom lip in, butt chin. And then this next line, look. Down like that. Down like that. Yeah, let's go with that one. That's always the worrying thing about any kind of digital art, is the ability to be able to undo. It's kind of why I like using real pens, because you can't undo. You have to work with what you've got, and it still usually looks okay. But it just means you don't like fuss over lines. You know, it just took me 3 attempts to draw that line. Whereas if I was using pens, I'd have just made the first one work. Okay. That's looking okay. Let's, what should we do? Let's go and put in some, let's go and work on the eyes next. So eyes, big, angry eyebrows. Like that. Like that. Again, not worrying too much about overstepping the lines and just going a bit bigger than I really need to. That works out alright. Let's put some eyebrows in, put some cheekbones in. Lovely. How's that looking? Yeah, that's looking okay. So clipping tool, turn it back on, just take out those bits that you don't need. Looks much better. What's next? Let's put in the head. Now I'm not going to go for symmetrical for the head. Let's go a little bit wonky with it. We're going to go from one cheekbone to the other cheekbone there. Let's start. Something like that. It doesn't have to be particularly straight. I kind of like it when things are not particularly symmetrical. Certain bits that you want symmetrical, certain bits you don't. And I don't think the shape of the head needs to be that symmetrical. Same with the shape of these wrinkles. Let's put some little wrinkles on the top of the nose as well. Let's get into the ears. I'm going to put the symmetry back on for the ears just for speed. That's it for the ears. Let's start trimming these bits out, tidying it up. Lovely. Turn the symmetry off. Let's go and put a neck in. Let's go around about there. A little jagged line. Jagged line like that. Looks a bit messy. Nice. Right, looking good. Let's go and put some extra little features on. So little boils and things like we can go over here, and we can put in these 2 little boils to straddle that line. Let's put a couple over that side as well. Let's put a few in the chin. That kind of thing. Maybe one on the nose. Clipping tool, and this way you can decide, do you want those boils to be at the front of the head like that, or do you want them to be behind? So you're just choosing. Maybe have one in front, one behind, that kind of thing. That one's definitely up front. Yeah, they look good. Okay, let's get some Going to put a plaster on the nose and put some pupils in. So again, it's just putting in the main shape that you want to work with and then clipping it out. Clipping tool on, triple tap it, take these bits out. So if you want to draw a square, that's how you draw a square. You draw all the lines for a square, and then you take all the bits out that you don't need. But it's one method of doing it. You might find your own methods, your own style. A band-aid, as I was told they're called. I'm going to create another layer. This is going to be for the eye. Let's go for that tool. So yeah, the reason I'm going for another layer for the eye is because for the pupil, I'm going to draw the pupil and then I'm going to copy it and move it over to the other side. So the pupils are going to be kind of identical. That's the main reason I'm doing that. Can't use the symmetry tool on that because the reflection is going to be the same side on both pupils, so you know, flipping it over isn't going to work. It needs to be a copy and paste. So we're going to do that. What we will do is put in a circle like that. Let's hold it down. When you hold it down, you get a perfect circle. And again, that's a tool that didn't exist in Fresco when I first started, so you had to kind of just use this bit over here where you could bring in a little template. But it exists now, so you can just kind of draw a curve, hold it down, and it gives you what you want. Smooths it around a little bit. Right. Triple tap. It's going to take those bits out, and then we'll colour that in. There is our pupil. Don't know if I'm too hot on that pupil. I might just make it a little bit smaller. Might just make it quite a lot smaller actually. Let's duplicate that. And then so there are some like hidden guidelines you can get. Fresco, I'm sure you can do the same with Procreate. You can get it to snap to those guidelines. So what I'm going to do, in order to make sure my pupils are at the same parallel to each other, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this one, put this one down until I get to that. You see that little blue line that comes out? So I know that that is on this center line. Let's do the same over here. So I know they're both now on that center line. They're both parallel to each other. Let's put them on top of each other, those two layers. So you just drag one layer, put it on top of the other layer. Then we can move that layer and we can just bring that up into our character, and we can make our character look over there if we want. Yeah, that kind of works for me. Let's leave it like that. Awesome. Right, we're getting there with this character. What we're going to do next is let's put in a tongue shape, and again clip that out, put in a tongue shape. We'll throw in some hairs, and then we'll colour. What's the time? 3 o'clock. Yeah, we've got time for this. Yeah, thank you very much for joining in. If you're watching live, put your name in the comments. Say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. If you've got any particular questions about Adobe Fresco, I'll try and answer. I'm not an expert by any means, but I've been using it for a few years, and I've done some good projects with it. It's a very handy little tool. So yeah, if you've got any questions, I'll try and answer. Let's go in with hairs. So hairs are going to be, again, the vector brush tool, and you've got this end taper tool down the bottom here, and we're going to pick end taper. And what that does is it gives us a line like that. So it's fat one end, tapered the other end. And it's tapered on the end, so that means when we go put some hairs in, that's how it looks. So just work your way around, just go and throw some hairs in, don't think about it too much. just throw them in, and then what I tend to do is triple tap and then decide which of these hairs are going to be behind and which are going to be in front. So you just kind of taking bits out. Oh no, that didn't work, did it? Let's put those back in. It's because I'm on a new layer. So yeah, because I accidentally did those on a new layer. So if I get rid of that, there's my eyes. And somehow I managed to do a new layer with just hairs on it. So what I'll do is I'll take that layer, just drop it on top of the zombie layer, make sure it's visible, tap it, merge layers and group, and then I've got my vector layer back. So now I can triple tap and send some of these hairs to the back. Let's go with that one. Okay, it's coming along nicely. I'm going to get rid of that pencil layer. We don't need that anymore because we've got everything in place. What's next? Let's put those eyes back in. Where did they disappear to? We can bring those eyes into the actual main picture as well. Merge it all together again. Unless you want to have it so the eyes can be all over the place. You could do that as well. Yeah, tongue. Let's go and put a tongue in. So no need for the symmetry tool. Let's go and get our double-ended taper. So what it's called? Just a taper brush like that. And let's put this tongue in. So the tongue's going to go from there to there. So that's where my tongue lives. Triple tap. Let's get rid of all these bits that are behind the teeth. We just got that little bit of tongue showing up there. Yep, that works. Let's put a few hairs on the head. Yeah, that'll do. Awesome. A few little spots. So this, for this bit, I'll just go in with a round brush. And not really thinking about it too much, just putting in some little spots. I'm not too worried about having them perfect. So kind of a little bit rough around the edges, I think is going to look okay. Let's throw a few in. That's looking okay. What next? Let's do a little bit of colouring in now, shall we? So what I tend to like to do is when I'm colouring in is I like to colour behind. So I've got this like one layer, and then I'll usually put a shadow, put a new layer behind it, and then colour in the layer behind it. To make it a little bit quicker and easier today, I might not do that. No, I'm going to do that. Let's let's duplicate that. Get rid of that one, and what we'll do is we'll add a little bit of colour to this. So just dropping in a white. Oops. Dropping in a white like that. Into the ears. So I've chucked a bit of colour on everything. Then what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to double tap this. So while I'm on that tool for colouring in, or that fill tool, double tap it, and then if I tap on the black, it will make the black, well, it should make the black disappear. Maybe not. doesn't seem to want to play today. That's a shame. Okay, let's get rid of that. Let's go and put in a background layer. Let's go and throw in a little bit of colour the old-fashioned way. So I tend to like to have like a limited palette of colours. So let's go and put a little tooth colour in. I don't like to go too many colours. And let's... Oop. Is that looking? That's looking alright. So yeah, there probably is quicker and easier ways of doing this. By all means, throw something in the comments if you know an easier way of doing this. But I kind of like the manual element of just doing a bit of colouring in. Can't drop a colour in there because I'm doing the layer behind the black. So let's go and put that in there. That there, little shadow coming from that tooth as well. There's the darker colour. Let's go and put a lighter colour in. And I think as well what you can do is, you see how I'm adding those lines and I'm going a little bit over the top with them. I believe, let's see if it works, you can triple tap and take those bits out as well. I just soften those off a little. That looks nicer. That's a big area, so I'll just drop the colour into that one. Beautiful. Let's go and do the bottom set of teeth as well. So I definitely missed something over here. Now I don't know if this is something you can do with Procreate, but if you hold your finger down on a particular colour, it will bring that colour into your working palette and make it your active colour. So I can just then go and colour over that little bit that I missed. I know I've got that dark colour in there now, so I can now just quickly go in and put in the shadow bits of this bottom set of teeth. Again, just highlight, just put your finger on it, brings you that colour, and you see how it changes. So let's take that lighter colour. Another bit where I've missed a bit of colour and inlet. Cool, let's get some darker colours inside. There you go, like that for the tongue. Something a little bit more red for the back of the mouth. Pink for the gums. The other thing is it puts all your colours down here. Any colours that you used, it just kind of sticks them all down here so you can use them again. So I don't like to use too many colours in my artwork. I like to keep it like a very limited palette. So I try to use the same colours over and over. So I'm going to use that colour that I've just used for the tongue. Going to go and put that in for the gums as well. Again with the same colour for the eyes. Let's go and put in a shape like that. So we're using the same colour that we've got in the teeth for the eyes. Just again stick into that like limited palette. Just bring a little bit of white in here. Let's put a little bit of snot in. Colour, let's go for a green. What do I want to do? Let's go for a darker green first. Darker green first, we'll just do that side. Going for a lighter green. To do the other side. Try and give it a little bit of a 3D kind of look. Grab that dark green again, put that shadow across the top for the nostril. That kind of works. Let's colour that bit in like that. How's that looking? Beautiful. Plaster. What colour's plaster? I guess it's like like that colour. Beautiful. Colour for the zombie, the actual character colour. Let's go for a purple. Let's go for a darker colour there. We'll add a few little shadows on. So I'm just going to outline. Missed a huge chunk of the eye there, look. But yeah, let's outline a little bit of this eye. Just trying to figure out where I'd expect to see the shadows. Doesn't matter if you don't get these perfect. I actually think it looks better if you just chuck in a rough estimation of where the shadows are without getting too hung up about getting it just right. Let's go around like that. Silenthax, think you could set the black as a reference and it will let you drop. Yeah, if I go back to this layer, yeah, I can definitely kind of just drop in the colour. I suppose it would be a lot quicker, but then it makes it a little bit trickier for me to add shadows and highlights and things like that, because I like them to sit behind the black lines. I guess I could always bring that outline back to the front again. Don't know, I haven't really nailed it, but that's the colouring in I'm doing, and I like this kind of manual process as well. This, like, keeping it very basic. Oh, so I'm on the wrong bit there. Let's try that again. Yeah, like I say, I'm no expert in how to use Adobe. I know Fresco. I know how I prefer to use it. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the right way, but I'm all for learning like extra little tips and tricks that people have got. What are we doing there? Let's put shadow on like that. Do you think that's watertight? Let's have a little look. Hey Joff, you didn't know this was live? You got no notification? Hit the notifications bell, Joff. I don't know if you're new to Twitter, but yeah, that's what you need to do. We've got 40 odd people watching, so hello 40 people. Hope you're doing well. I'm featured on the on the live on X. It shows that I'm live on X in the main feed, but yeah, no notifications is not a good thing. Let's carry it on though. Let's not worry about that too much. Just trying to think of where these shadows will live now. So That looks about right to me. It's not watertight though. Oh yeah, around the nose there, look. So yeah, what I said at the start of the session was that on Saturday about 6 p.m. GMT, we're gonna go. I'm gonna go live here on X with a view to kind of just looking through the Corp Docs artwork. I'll take you through some of the layers, some of my favourite traits. Any questions you've got about how I drew them? You know what I do like, what I don't like, the influences behind them, those kind of things. Just let me know, and hopefully I'll see you there on Saturday, and we'll have a little, like I say, a little deep dive into my favourite parts of the Corp Dogs artwork. But there's no way of setting a notification for that, so you are just going to have to remember. Hopefully that's okay. But yeah, tap the notifications bell. Yeah, to be fair, Joff, I'm streaming from your account. I'm just hijacking your account, mate. So I don't know. Maybe that's why I didn't show you. Are you logged in as Corp Dogs? No, you commented as Joff, so that's a bit weird. Elon hates drawing. I've heard that's true. So I think, you know, that's basics of a decent looking zombie. Let's just lighten that colour a bit and go and do some tidying up. So little things like that, look, just kind of going around that, tidying up that little shadow, making that knobbly bit look like it is properly got a bit of a shadow to it underneath. Love doing stuff like that. I'm sure some of you are looking at this thinking this is painful. Just drop the colour in. I just enjoy drawing like this. I enjoy the kind of like having to take a bit of care and attention over each little part, making those decisions about which bits you need colouring in and which you don't. There we go. Nostril, let's go around this nostril shape, look. The other thing I kind of like about drawing with Adobe Fresco is, and I'm sure Procreate has the same kind of tool, which is where you can set the smoothness of your drawing style. So over here you've got a little bar there. You see mine's set at 75% smoothing. Yeah, 76% look up there. So you can decide how smooth or not you want your line work to be. And it feels like a little bit like cheating. But I'm happy with it. Yeah, we're watertight. Let's go and do these last little bits. I feel like that bit should probably be a bit darker. Okay, how's it looking? So at this stage I probably just would be looking at it thinking there's a set as reference option that doesn't colour the layer. Yeah, it's a toss up between the two. I'll have to look at that though, mate. That's a good tip, thank you. Yeah, at this stage I'll be looking at my artwork thinking, right, what needs extra shadows, what needs highlights, that kind of thing. So I'm just going to tweak a few of these shadows, use the right colour. I feel like that one needs to be a bit straighter. I feel like this nose one doesn't work for me. And then yeah, this bit under here, definite shadow there, definite shadow there. And this bit, in fact I'm going to go a little bit bigger than that bit because I am going to put a black shadow in there as well. Okay, it's getting there. Next stage for me then would be just kind of putting in some extra little shades and things. Thanks, Paris. Glad you're enjoying the stream. Yeah, let's go and put some extra little shadows in. So double-ended taper. And then what I'd do is just kind of do things like this. Just throw in some little extra bits like that, just to add a bit of texture in there. And there's no real kind of thought process between where to add things in and where not. It's just go and chuck them in and hope for the best. Little creases like this and across the head, you'd put the shadow just above the little lines. So let's go across there, look. Same with this bit. I like, in fact let me just concentrate on getting these bits done first, then I'll show you something else I really like doing. Cool. Yeah, putting in some little shadows. So where we've got that end taper brush, take the darker colour that we've just used for the skin, and let you see the hairs that we've got there. Just putting in some little shadows for those hairs. Cool, this is looking alright. Let's get on with the thinner pen. Double-ended taper, black. Like I say, thinner, so I'm using, what's that, 13? So let's go down to about 4. And I'll just start putting in some extra little lines in here and there. How can we do this? Let's put the taper brush on. Take that down to about 4 as well. Ooh, wrong one. Okay, that'll do. Normally when I'm putting in shadows like that, normally I'd put them in a separate layer so I can adjust the transparency and make the shadow darker or lighter. But I've just gone and coloured it in that way. Normally what I'd do is I'd go for another layer like that, double-ended taper, take it back to about 14, turn it white, so we're going to put some reflections in, and then anywhere that I'd expect to see a bit of a highlight, well, so that looks alright. Let's put some in the bottoms there. No, can't do it there. Let's put it underneath the black line. And those reflections just a little bit too much, a little bit too strong, so then just fade them out till you're happy with it. Let's put in some black shadows. That looks alright. yeah, quick background. So let's put all of these on top of each other in one layer, create another layer, put it underneath. We can make those that we group together, we can make those disappear, just so that we can quickly drop in a background. What colour should we go? Let's go for green and yellow. I'm going to go for some yellow clouds. Big fat brushes this time. Let's see how we get on with that. Shadows first. Shadows first, get in with the highlights. Add in some highlights across the top. Yeah, quite like those. Nice easy clouds to do. Let's bring our zombie back into the front. Maybe a little bit too big. Let's bring him down a size. How's that looking? It's alright. Yeah, for me, the last thing I would then do, let's put that on top of there, is add a photo, which would be, let's try that one, a little bit of texture, and then set that as an overlay. And what that's doing is it's getting like the cardboard texture coming through into the artwork, which is something I really like doing with my drawings, so they look more like real drawings, if you know what I mean, like IRL drawings. So let's set it to overlay. You can see it's changed all the colours, but we've got all these beautiful like textures coming in. You maybe want to change it from overlay to soft light. Have a little play around with it. I kind of like overlay, it's very sharp. You can tone that down a little bit. So we've got that in there now. Yeah, that's not looking too bad. So there you have it. There's my why I use Adobe Fresco, and yeah, a quick zombie drawing. It's the same zombie as we did on Doodle on Discord. Here you go. That's the zombie we did on Doodle on Discord. So if you fancy joining in for that, just go to our Discord. It's on this X feed. Up in the bio, you'll see the Discord link. We also go live on X every Wednesday, 8 p.m. GMT. And it's just a quick like half hour, 45 minutes of drawing, NFT art chat, and a bit of a giveaway of some NFT art as well, usually. So yeah, if you fancy kind of drawing a zombie like that, I use real pens. So like Sharpies, pencils, that kind of stuff. And that's really all you need: a pencil, Sharpie, fine liner, a piece of paper. They're the 4 things you'll need as a minimum requirement for the session. Cheers, Joff. You're still there, mate. Shouldn't you be working? I'm glad you're paying attention there. Joff's just dropped it into the chat. So anybody that wants to join in on the Discord, head over there. Also, don't forget tomorrow. What's today? Today's Thursday. On Saturday, at about 6 p.m, we're going to do a deep dive into the Corp Dogs artwork. So if you want to find out a little bit more about the Corp Dogs artwork, how I drew that, my favourite traits, how all the layers kind of fit together, stuff like that. I'm probably not going to reveal too much, but we'll see. Yeah, join us on Saturday, this Saturday, 6 p.m. What else we got tomorrow? I'll see if I can go live again tomorrow about this time. So I'll be listening to Say What, the Say What show, and doodling at the same time. Yeah, I think that's everything we've got coming up. And obviously, yeah, bookmark Tuesday and Monday coming up. The 16th of December is the release of the Corp Docs project. 17th of December is, I think, when it goes to whitelist and public. So we'll be getting out on those dates. And yeah, support what we do. We've got a huge plan of creative events and artwork that we want to give to holders. So yeah, if you want to support this kind of creativity in Web3, then yeah, keep your eyes peeled. We'll be on Magic Eden, which I'm reliably told is the largest NFT selling platform in the world. I believe that to be true. Yeah, that's happening on Monday and Tuesday. So busy few days coming up. Do yourself a favour, just hit the notifications bell. You won't miss a thing. Thanks very much for tuning in to today's impromptu live. I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.